Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamila Daura. Thank you for clicking to watch this video. If you are new, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, hi. So today is a movie review. Thank you for the support on my last movie review. So today we are bringing it home, and I am going to be reviewing a short story series on YouTube. The name of the movie is called Amaryar TikiTok. So if you are familiar with it, you already know what the movie is about. But if you have not watched it before, I would suggest that you watch it. It is entertaining. I won't say largely informative, because a lot of the messages they are trying to pass, is not something that is out of this world that I feel like people can't use their common sense to actually decide. But they're just trying to showcase, in how will I say it now in English, but in Hausa it's called illa. So ilolin, the life of social media. I'm a social media personality. That is what I can say in today, that I'm a social media personality. So I do Instagram. I have a TikTok account. I've posted a few times there, but YouTube and Instagram is what I largely do. And my content and my lifestyle and personality on social media is largely for educational purposes. So I am not the frenzy social media personality that we have today. And when we take it back to TikTok, yes, it is disgusting by lots of things that we see our northern sisters and northern brothers, because I'm not the person that will say that a northern woman cannot do this and it's okay for a northern man to do this, because I see very old people, old male figures from the north on social media, on TikTok, in married women's comment section, talking about nasty things and, kind of admiring what young girls are doing. So that could also be your daughter. So the moral standing cuts across whether you are a male figure or whether you're a man or a woman from from the north. So it is not, I'm not going to be that person that would say that, oh, the men are excused, the women are not excused. Morality does not have gender. It is for everybody. I watched from episode 1 to 10, and the reason why I stopped at 10, and I'm still watching it, but the reason why this review is going to be based off of episode 1 and 10 is that they've already established what the series is going to be about. So it is going to be sort of repetitive events, but in different ways, with different guest appearances. And so I just don't feel like I need to go all the 9 yards to review it. But was something I enjoyed watching. It was like short movies, short stories that comes with different kind of script for each episode, and trying to highlight something. So yeah, we are going to get into it today, and please subscribe if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, or you're seeing my face for the first time. Give this video a thumbs up at the end of the day. So I have highlighted 10 things. Well, is it 10? No, 8 things here. I made down 8 points that I really want to quickly touch. Number 1 is the main characters of the story of the movie is Suleiman and Zainab. Suleiman and Humaira, and a friend Zainab, and a mother-in-law. But the main characters that we will be focusing on would be Suleiman and Humaira's characters. They are the main characters, so the lead characters. So the first episode highlighted Auren Seki. Auren Seki is something that is very familiar in the north amongst northern men. As northern Muslim men, they are allowed to be able to marry. Allah have made it permissible. I think this is sounding like a broken record on this channel, but it is permissible for the Muslim man to be able to marry up to 4 women, 2, 3, 4, so long as he's able to do justice between them within their rights, and within their right and permissions that Allah have made that permissible for you. So for them. So in the first episode, there was this, it showed where Suleiman was trying to go get seek for a young lady's hand in marriage, and the father was like, no, you have a history of getting daughters, getting married to women and sending them packing, and I don't trust you to give you my child. You see, I was really impressed in the standing of this girl's father in that first episode, because we do accuse our northern parents a lot of the time lately that they don't really take our safety into consideration when it comes to what we daughters go through in our marriages. We almost feel like it is almost a do or die affair for our parents, that they would rather have you in marriage suffering than have you outside of marriage alive with them. This is like recent accusations that we've been having, or conversations that we've been having. However, I did love that they did highlight that, okay, there are still parents out there that care for their daughters, that care for their children. And Auren Seki is something that a lot of northern men do, just because they want to take in, they probably already have 4 wives, or they have 2 women and their intention is to just keep 2 wives at home, but they keep finding women that they are attracted to, either physically or whatever, and you see that they are so quick to send away the second wife, because you find that the first wife is in position, is like her territory is already marked, she's not going anywhere. But when he starts taking a second wife, is like that second wife is the one he keeps replacing. If it's 3 women that he is his max that he wants to have, he will keep replacing the third wife or keep replacing the fourth wife, because he has no intention of keeping these other women, but just to satisfy his own needs or his selfish desires, he will keep marrying women to replace one, to just keep replacing women, just like that. So that was one thing that they highlighted, and I like the way that they highlighted it. Like, if you are a northern man that is known for such things, I want to understand what could possibly be the problem that is making you marry one woman today, in 3 months you're sending her packing. It is not good for the woman, it is not good for her image. Divorce is not a bad thing, but again, there is this prejudice and stigmatization that comes with divorce, whether you're from the north or not. So we don't like it. So if you're going to marry us, be ready that you're marrying us halak malak, for the rest of your life. You are not going to send me packing just because you've seen a lady that is lighter than me. That is why in a video I did mention that make sure you are marrying someone that you genuinely love. If beauty is priority for you, make sure you marry someone that is extremely beautiful, that you don't feel like there is another woman on this earth that can match her beauty. So the second point that I have here is that they highlighted domestic violence and communication in marriage. They highlighted this in episodes 4, 5, and 6. The reason why I grouped these together is because I feel like it is also very important. We are no longer shying away from domestic violence issues in the north. Once upon a time that, parents or family members or people we take that ayah in the Quran and use it to justify hitting their wives, hitting the woman, So Suleiman's sister or cousin, Suleiman's cousin did come to his house as by the older brother that she has around her, and he kept her in the house because her husband had hit her, and her mom traced her, that is his aunt, traced the daughter back to Suleiman's house, and the mother was like, oh no, it is her fault, she talks a lot, she talked down on him, blah 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 blah, so she deserved what she got, she saw it coming. And I like that Humaira, Suleiman's wife and sister-in-law to this girl, I can't remember her name, did kind of highlighted the fact that, okay, your husband did something like this. I think she bought her husband medicine to use, just to help him. And the guy refused to take it. And, in anger, she said some nasty things and he started hitting her. And Humaira kind of showed wisdom in communication. Like, she shared some valuable points in, like, you want your husband to use this if he's not comfortable with using it, if he does not trust what it is, he's going to have reservations on using it, but you could have brought it to him in this way, giving her tips and tricks on how you can actually make a man do things that he probably would not do on a normal day, but you have to come from a very strategic way and know how to communicate things with your significant other, with your spouse. And communication is something that is very big. When you're getting married, hey, northern sisters, what do they tell you? They tell you that like you don't have you almost do not have a say. You have cancelled out your rights. You have cancelled out you just don't have a say. So whatever it is that your husband says to you is what you're going to do. Whether it sits well with you or it does not sit well with you, you must do it. That is how they send us to our husband's house. And that mentality, that ideology has really taken away from the beauty of marriages, from the friendship in marriages, from love and care and attention to one another in marriages. So I really love that they highlighted that, one, domestic violence is unacceptable. If you're experiencing it, go to the closest person to you that can help you resolve it. If you feel like you cannot go to your parents, let there be a safe space for you. Communication in marriage is also very important, and I love that they highlighted that. Yeah, my third point here is something that was highlighted in episodes 2 and 3, social media use. So I have divided this into two views. We have this, what the society thinks of social media, and we have my own personal view of social media. I am not afraid of social media at all. I want people to understand this. Social media is not the evil. It is the tarbiyah, where it is coming from. I feel like people are trying so hard to make social media look like a bad thing, look like it is the evil. I have learned a lot on social media. Oh my goodness, on this same TikTok that people alienate so much, I have been able to memorize verses of the Quran, lots of du'as, just from consistently listening, because you see different reciters recite just an ayah of the Quran, and when you move from this, by the time you go through 10 reciters for one particular ayah, once you listen to it 10 times, that is when it sticks to your head. It becomes repetitive, it sticks to your head, and you've learned something. So there is this societal view, most especially in Arewa, that makes it that all social media personalities are people that lack tarbiyah, that people that are not raised well, are people of low morals, are people of the street, anything, whatever it is that they can use to just make us look bad is what the society in Arewa is trying to do with the use of social media. But realistically, social media is not that evil. For consumption, too much of everything can be bad. So if you are really consuming social media in a way that you should not, or in the wrong way, that is when it is going to be negative on you. But if you are using it the right way, for learning purposes, for educational purposes, even for entertainment purposes, I don't see, like, sometimes you can just be having a bad day and you go through some videos that are comic relief for you, and at the end of the day you're laughing, your mood is light, and you're happy. So that society alienation of the social, because the Amaryar Humaira, who is the character, was a social media personality before she got married on TikTok. She was very popular on TikTok before she got married, and the moment she got married, her sister-in-law, she just went and started saying, Commander, thank you. I went like, I've seen you somewhere, and she kind of put two and two together, and she immediately knew that she knows about her on TikTok, and she immediately kind of made it a negative thing to her brother. As a wife that I am, I'm seated here talking to you people. I will never represent myself or present myself in a way that is going to make it look like that is going to look bad on my family. And my family starts from my husband, my children, my parents, my siblings, because I don't want to be the one that has the bad name, So I know how I carry myself. I know how I conduct myself. So these are conversations that people should really have before they get married. And it's not just about what you were doing before you, whether you were doing social media or not. If you've always had an established life before getting married, job, career, education, and all that, make sure you sit down with your husband and talk. Husband to be, not husband to be, your fiance. Talk about it before you get married, because there is almost the point of no return where you have to respect, obey, respect what your husband's desires and wishes are, and suppress yours. He can say that, look, I have this life, I'm not comfortable with you putting our lives, your life out there in a way, in a certain way. Come to an agreement. What are his limitations? What are your own limitations? And agree on something. It is not when you now get married that the shock is going to come. Hey, you have to stop doing what you're doing because I don't like it. I don't like it is not an excuse for me. Honestly, I'll never, don't just tell me to stop doing something because you don't like it, but give me sensible reasons to why you're not okay with it. Then we take it up from there. Another thing I have to say is cultural representation. I miss the days of Kannywood where their movies are really interesting, storytelling, lots of folklore stories and all those things. We don't really have that today. And there are things we are trying to get people to stop doing today, modesty, dressing, and all that. But I don't see that they highlighted that on Humaira. She was just like the 21st century woman that was comfortable with her hair extensions and, showing it off. I feel like even as Muslims that they are, your sin is supposed to be private, even if we are all not perfect, so we all sin differently. But I think Allah is more merciful towards us when your sin is private, the way I have understood the tafsirs around this. So there was this, the way they were showing, like, you're trying to say that TikTok is not good, social media is not good, but you're missing a core part of cultural representation, like in the dressing. There was use of atampa, but there was the hair exposure, ba'amayafi, except when she's going out, which is, yes, Islamically, yeah, if you're in your house, you can wear whatever it is that you want. But I also want to point this, that like the movie or a lot of northern movies point fingers at, you're acting movies with your non-muharram. Should there not be guards? Like, are you not supposed to guard your chastity? That is one thing that always comes to mind when it comes to Kanyewood. Like, we are very quick to judge people, yet we welcome movies, and we welcome movies where there is, like, even this Maltina advert of Rahma Sadao and Ali Jita, where Ali Jita shook her hand. Like, Ali Jita is a married man. How is it okay that he can shake her hand? So there is so much double standard that I feel like we always experience as women in the north, and men are excused. So I would say that there was no much of cultural representation in the movie. I would have loved to see little details that would remind me of, oh, this is Irish, this is our northern culture of those days, this is what we used to do, this is what we used to see. And yeah, I don't know if it makes sense, but for me, I don't know, I just highlighted it here, but I would have loved to see more of cultural representation. So I have 2 points here: mother-in-law, polygamy for the wrong reasons. So the mother-in-law character, that is Suleiman's mother, was portrayed in 2 different ways. A good mother-in-law that, is wise and will tell her child the truth. And another, a mother-in-law that is also selfish and will only think about her child's feelings regardless of who gets hurt in the process. The one way they portrayed the mother-in-law's character that I loved was when Suleiman complained about, she came visiting and he had fights with his wife, and she Now, okay, that is where I don't buy disrespect. I would never condone disrespecting your mother-in-law for whatever reason, where your mother-in-law will come and visit and you know that she's around and you won't come out. So she was angry with her husband, and the mother-in-law was around, but she just stayed in the room. The girl did not come out to greet. That is totally not our culture. That is not a northern culture. No matter how angry, that is un-Islamic as well. You cannot disrespect your mother-in-law like that. She's also a mother to you. But anyways, what happened was he had seized her phone because he told her not to do TikTok again, but she was still doing it, and she was having this fracas with another social media personality. You know how they do it now, shamelessly fighting. So what happened? He was at a mechanic, and the mechanics and some low lifers were seeing her video and commenting. He got jealous. He called her older brother. Her older brother came, who stands in as a father for her, seized her phone. So she got angry with her husband, and she was not talking to him for days. And her mother-in-law came, and when her mother-in-law came and she was asking after her, that was where he opened up to his mom. Her brother seized her phone. Now she's angry with me. And the mother was like, no, that is not how you do things. This is something you sit down, again, still highlighting the importance of communication. You really sit down and you have a sit down and really have a good conversation around these things. But why should you go and be reporting her to her older brother? No, I will not be a party to this. I will not subscribe to this. And I like that she did that, because there was so much wisdom in there. If we cannot solve things as a couple, within our space, then when like little quarrels, then what will now happen when the big quarrels happen? So it means that if the big quarrels now happen, you just come and send me back to my parents' house. So the mother really cautioned him there and told him that he better make peace with his wife. She's not going to be a party to it. Already people have kind of labeled her as the mother-in-law that sides her son or backs her son, marrying, the Auran psyche that they keep on doing, like he kept on doing, and people were already attributing it to her. So she was like, no, I'm not going to be a part. And this is what mother-in-laws should really be like. At this point, she was not even thinking about the girl not disrespecting her and not coming to see her in that moment. She only wanted for them to make peace. And the next thing they highlighted towards the mother-in-law again is still something that is very common in the North, where a mother-in-law or a mother to her son can easily tell her son to go send his wife back in because, one, she does not like her, or two, mostly like she does not like her, So they kept on having issues, one thing to another, and he went to visit his mother. Now this time around, he went to visit his mother in Zaria, and he was talking to his mom, confiding his mom, because it's shown that like there's a good relationship between mother and son. And with all the things that he said to his mom, the mom was like, she's still like this, she's still doing this, blah 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 blah. Okay, this is what we are going to do. Oh, my brother's daughter from Lagos is visiting. She is going to follow you to Kano, blah blah blah. And he was like, no, I have to inform my wife. I have to inform my wife before something. Like, so you have to inform her, So he at this point he is trying to respect his wife. Like, I cannot just carry my cousin, and yeah, she's my cousin, but there is marriage between us. And he quickly understood that his mother's goal is to get this girl in close proximity with him so that he can pique interest in her and eventually get married to her. That was the mother's plan, since the first wife is misbehaving in her own thinking. So getting a second wife is the next thing. But this is polygamy for the wrong reasons, and we see a lot of polygamy happening in the North for the wrong reasons. Like it's better to not have a reason to get married. Just get married if you want to get married, but don't just come out and start saying, I am getting married because my wife is this, my wife is that, my wife. You do see, Allah have made it permissible for you men to want to do 2, 3, 4. Just do it. You don't need a reason. Just make sure you have money. You have money and you can provide that justice. You can be just between all of them. But if you keep trying to like justify why you need a second wife, the more you try to do so, the more foolish you sound and you look. And the biggest part for me in all of what they've highlighted between episodes 1 and to 10 is friendship and betrayal. So we saw quite a few of that between the friends, Humaira and her friend, and the one part that they highlighted was, okay, Humaira's friend was the girl from the first episode that her father told to not marry Suleiman because of his tendency of marrying and divorce, marrying and divorce. So unbeknown to both of them, she was friends with Humaira, and when they found out, it kind of started bringing back old memories, and Suleiman was either trying to act upon it, and her own friend too was trying to act upon old feelings. And ana barin halal saboda kunya. It is something that for the life of me, I don't know how to drum this into my northern folks' ears. Why do you, like, I see it a lot of times, In short, while I was watching this series, there was this Instagram post that showed up of a best friend in conversation with her friend's husband, just because she had this access to him during the wedding preparation phase and all that. You don't do things like this. Men can bite more than they can chew all the time. Like you saw her on, now this is going back to Suleiman and Humaira's friend. He picked her on the road, they started having conversation, and the Humaira's friend kind of, told him, I still have feelings for you. Just because my Abba did not let me get married to you does not mean that my feel. Why are you saying that? Like, can't you just respect the fact that he's your friend's husband? And Humaira, the smart girl that she is, she was not buying the story that the husband gave her. Oh, I just knew her from the past, whatever and ever, So she kept on. She dug deeper into his mind, make him say things, till I think I stopped at the 10th episode, but I felt like, she was able to put a halt to their relationship and they were not able to pursue it further. So friendship and betrayal is something that we have to be very conscious of as a society. We see a lot of that happening in the north, where friends are developing feelings for their friend's husband, nieces are developing feelings for their aunties' husbands, cousins are developing feelings for their cousins. Like in a family, cousin will be developing feeling for cousin, knowing that this cousin is married to someone else. Like, why are you doing this? Like, find your own happiness. But yeah, friendship and betrayal is something that we all experience, and I like the things that they kind of highlighted. There are tiny details that it is not unique, it is everyday happening in the society, but the way they highlighted it, in an entertaining way, but there is this subtle reminder that comes with every message in each episode. So I'm going to link it in the description box if you've never watched it, but it is just a light mode series that I think 15 minutes, barely 20 minutes per episode. So you will quickly go through them before like I watched episodes 1 to 10 in one sitting, and I like it. I'll keep watching it because this is one Hausa series that I like. I don't watch a lot of them because a lot of the messages in the movies these days don't really make sense to me. So yeah, I just wanted to do these, and let me know if you guys like my movie reviews, or this is the second one, but if you guys want this to be something that should be continued on this channel. And I watch a lot of movies as I read a lot of books, so I will I think I'm going to be bringing a book review next, inshallah. At some point, I'm going to make a book review that I feel like everybody should also know about. Thank you all so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and see you in my next video. Bye and stay blessed. 2 a.m. got me feeling myself.